Aries, welcome back to your reading. Yes, I'm still traveling, so it's going to be a little bit of a makeshift room where I do the cards, but that's all right. As long as the energy is with us, we're fine. So let's begin. We're going to go into the second week of September. We're going from the first week to the second week of September, these energies, and see what's going on for you guys. Situation for my Aries, please. All right, so we got the Star card. All right, what does Star card, which is Aquarius energy? I'm looking also at the Hangman in reverse, the bottom of the deck, which is Pisces energy, and under that is the Queen of Swords. Okay, so whatever's going on with you guys, it looks like you're hopeful and positive for a certain change that's happening to you. Some of you, it could be at work. Some of you, it's in regards to a relationship. Others of you, it feels like it's a little bit stronger than that. It feels like it's a little bit more than just a typical job or a typical relationship or what's going on in your family life. We're going to see when we clarify, but for me, it's starting to feel like you're hopeful and positive for major change that's coming your way. And it is notable knowing that we are having an eclipse that's coming in soon. You are going to be eclipsing all those old things. So throughout your whole entire June, July, and August, you've been feeling these energies, you've been changing, you've been transitioning, and you've been trying to power through them. All right, so, and moreover, I do need to just know about frequency changes. I'm sure you guys have been feeling these frequency changes, and they do hit you on a cellular level in the sense of feeling extra exhausted, feeling extra tired. So this Star card means a lot to me, a lot. I know it's just one card, but to me, it really means the true essence of feeling positive and hopeful for that change, for that betterment, for the decisions you just recently made, and you walking that walk, you talking that talk, and you're following that path now. All right. But the Hangman, let me just touch base on that a little quickly. It's making me feel like you're stuck a little bit, or you feel like you're stuck. You're trying to see something from a different perspective, and you're saying to yourself, well, what if I try this? Which is a good thing to do, because we all know without change, you won't have any in your life. All right, so let's continue and see what's coming towards you. Ooh. Okay, we got Death and the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. It's literally what I just got done telling you guys. You guys are holding on to something. Some of you could be saving for a rainy day if this card is literal for financial reasons. Others of you, you're holding on to an old relationship, an old job, an old person, an old scenario that has died. Quite literally, the Death card is here. Four of Pentacles and Death. This situation's over. It's trying to transform and transition. I can see this is why you're being positive and hopeful. You're hoping that this will change. This will turn into a metamorphosis of some kind, but it's not. You are meant to shed these things. This is why the eclipse energy is coming in, and you can feel it on that cellular level I was just talking about. See, the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck is showing me that you guys are stuck. It's really a mental jail, guys. Because I want you to look at this card clearly. The Eight of Swords, she doesn't have any swords in front of her. These bounds that she has around her, if she wiggles herself loose, she can take off her blindfold and see she's not really stuck. She just hasn't made up her decision yet. And I say she as the female in the card, this being you, male or female, this is you. And every sword represents one of your problems, one of your issues. But you could pick up one of these swords and start slaying. All right. Which I think you are. I think you're going to start doing a little homework, a little stocky doodle, a little FBI work, and you're going to try to see what's going on to help you navigate to where it is that you're trying to get to or process. All right. What is it that Aries doesn't see coming their way, please? right, next week, guys, I'll be back at home, so the setup will be back to normal. Ooh, you have the Knight of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck is the King of Wands. Okay, Knight of Wands is talking about something casual. You're in, you're out. Some of you could be entertaining a relationship that is non-committal. It can be an affair. It could just be whatever. It could be just a lover. Right now, you're just having fun. That's what the Knight of Wands depicts to me. Some of you, this could even be with a project or work. You're entertaining it, but you're not taking it seriously. This is not crossing T's and dotting I's. This is go to the party and then you leave. You don't stay to clean up. You come to have fun and you say, ciao, ciao, bacalao. And at the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands, ooh, and the Queen of Swords. All right, incoming energies. Let's talk about this Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. This is somebody that doesn't have to be those signs, but they represent those characteristics. This is somebody passionate, charismatic, very attractive, life of the party, super fun. But this person is also in the upright position, which tells me they're available to you. So if you got doubts going on in your head, erase them. All right? I know the doubts are probably happening because of the casual state of affairs that I'm seeing with the Knight of Wands. So clearly to me, for you, a lot of you, this must be a new thing. Others of you, you're just casually entertaining it. This is going to be interesting, guys, when we clarify, because it's going to show me exactly what's going on. Because I feel for a bunch of you, you got two scenarios going on. You're entertaining something new while you're still holding on to something old. While others of you, this is it, that you're holding on to something that's casual, that's not committed. But we'll see. Let's see what your advice is. Advice for Aries, please. I'm still seeing the Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, guys. And under that, Strength card, Leo energy. I get it. You're trying to resist someone or something. If you're holding on to an old energy, you have no space for new energy to come in. Let's just put it like that, because your mind is closed off to it. Your sphere, your surroundings, you're not even looking at it because you're holding on to something old. So if the universe is nudging you and saying, hey, look, there's this opportunity and that opportunity, and I know you guys are getting opportunities. The whole point of this conversation that we're having this week for second week of September is to notice those opportunities, is to open our eyes. It's to see those things that we would normally or typically miss because we're down and out. We're thinking about our past. We're thinking about this relationship that just ended, or we're thinking about this toxic workspace, or what your friend did to you. So with that said, in your advice position, I have the Ten of Swords and the King of Pentacles. A lot of you, this is about relationships. I want to say for the bulk of you. Ten of Swords is an ending. It's a betrayal. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, though. There's nowhere else to go but up. Look at this card. This is like painful. But you don't need to stay in that energy. And this King of Pentacles, which is a representative of an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus energy. Again, they don't have to be that sign, but this is somebody very stable. This is somebody who's got their shit together. All right, guys? And they're also available to you. So there's an ending and a betrayal here with this person. I'm thinking like a lot of you guys are doing this. Or you're just sitting here saying, again, energies are vice versa. So just know that with the cards. We'll see what's going on here. But if there was an ending in betrayal, or just an ending in general with this individual, it's time for onward, upward movement. You can't just lie there dead flat, because you're going to end up digging yourself into a hole, and it's going to take you forever to climb on out. Because here I am looking at the Eight of Swords again at the bottom of the deck. And I know you're resisting new love. You're resisting new energy, because the King of Cups is under that. King of Cups is somebody emotionally mature, available, but you don't see that. And those are the kind of things that we end up falling into a trap where it becomes unrequited love due to the fact that we're still holding on to old energy. All right, let's move on and see what's going on for the outcome of the week. All right, yeah, You definitely are torn between two scenarios, two situations. You have two twos. You know, twos are decision-making time. You know, twos are options. You know, twos is weighing your pros and your cons. I also know with the Two of Swords, you're mentally torn. You really don't know what to do. Should I stay with this person or should I leave them? Will I find something better? Will I not? It doesn't work like that, guys. It's a process. It's a journey. Even if you make a mistake, it's fine. You're just going to go back and be like, what were you going to do? Even if you do make that mistake and you want to go back to that person, you could try, but where are you going to learn the lesson? You're not. You're always going to want to know. You're always going to want to scratch that itch. You're always going to say, is the grass greener on the other side? If you haven't learned to tell yourself the grass is green where I water it, you're always going to want to scratch that itch. So if you're asking me, which you should not be asking me, should be asking yourselves what that choice is best for you. Look at these. Twos, two twos. You're in this process of debating, stay or go, this person, that person, and you're weighing your pros and cons. Do this job or that job? Should I start my new job? Should I start my own company? Here's where you are. And I find it interesting with the whole entire spread, you got a death card here. Something has ended. It ended for a reason, and this is why eclipse season is coming in soon upon us. So once you make these decisions from these twos, because I'm not even surprised they're here on the outcome, you're going to move forward with that. All right? And then we have the Hangman again. You have a lot of stuck energy. It's like you're walking through molasses. You're like, if I move slow enough, maybe I don't got to make a choice just yet. Maybe the answer will present itself to me. It doesn't work like that. You started feeling these feelings from a while ago. They started burning within you a while ago. This is what we've been talking about this past June, July, August. These changes, these feelings, wanting more, wanting growth, wanting change. This is why this is happening. This just happens to be, you're at the gate. You're about to walk through, but you got to make those choices. So let's start clarifying and see what's going on. Maybe what I'm saying here to you guys is going to change. It will when I get the details, but let's see what else is happening here. Aries, please. Star card, please, for Aries. All right, I do want to say something before I start reading these cards. All right, there's the Eight of Cups and the bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. I do need to tell you guys, I'm like super, super proud of you. I really am. Because you are walking that walk. You are talking that talk. You are going through these things. And you are saying to yourself, you know what? If I make a mistake, fuck it. I'm going to own it. I'm going to do it. And then I'll learn from it. And then I'll go back and I'll course correct and I'll revise if I have to. But this is something I've got to seek through, right? Because here you are showing me an Eight of Cups. You know why you're doing what you're doing? Because this needs to be underlined and undertoned, and it's important to say, when I see an Eight of Cups, it means you're walking away from something that doesn't emotionally fulfill you. So you're sitting there saying to yourself, well, what the hell am I doing here if this isn't making me happy? I got nothing left to give. And if I've got no happiness, then how am I going to attract it? So this is why you're being positive and hopeful. So you are making decisions. You are making choices. It looks like you just physically haven't committed. And all these things that are happening to you, your thoughts, your feelings, somebody in your external environment triggering you to make you do these moves, it's the universe. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It's three fates working on your behalf to move the dial of your life forward because it was stagnating. It was not growing. It was just rotting for you. So it's doing this for you so you can move forward. Again, even the mistake is part of the process. Even the mistake will show you how good what you had was, or it's going to reveal to you it was fucking terrible. And then when something amazing does happen to you in the near future, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I was gonna stay there like that in that relationship with that person or that job with that toxic coworker. Oh my God. And then you say to yourself, I'm so glad I did what I did. All right, so let's continue and see what's going on. Death and Four of Pentacles. All right, I have the Seven of Wands in reverse, and I have the Queen of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and under the Queen of Wands is the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. All right, I'm going to get specific because this is targeting a specific group. Moreover, those of you who are members, the link is down below, but it's the second link. The first link is for the extended reading. For those of you who want to just do a single purchase, that's there. And yeah, but it's mostly about love. So we deep dive into your person, their thoughts, their feelings, what they're planning on doing, these kind of things. So if you're interested in just the love aspect of you and your person, head on over to the extended. Now, let's get back to Four of Pentacles, Death, and the Seven of Wands in reverse, the Queen of Wands over here, and again, the Four of Pentacles. Two different decks aligning in the same position with the same cards, all right? You know, for me, that's when the universe doubles down the message. So it's like you're holding on to an old energy, and when I say energy, I'm talking about a commitment, a marriage, a job, a relationship, a friendship, whatever it is for you guys. You're a large audience, you're discerning adults, you apply where it belongs. Now, with that said, you're not fighting it, but you're not also holding on to it. But you are kind of just energetically there. You haven't mentally disengaged. You haven't mentally told yourselves, you know what, I do need to transition from this because I cannot be holding on to this energy. Because holding on is not, it's like you playing defense in a soccer match. You're not playing offense, you're playing defense when you're holding on to something. And when I'm looking at the Queen of Wands, which yes, this is a fire sign, you, but this can also be the mistress, the mister, the third party person here. And under that, you're holding on. And some of you, it is to a marriage. It is to a commitment, because I think you're afraid of something that has either stagnated for you, got boring for you, or you're not sure of. It is what it is, guys. I don't think you're going to let it go. You're holding on, but you're also not emotionally fulfilled. And you know at the end of the day, you're going to walk away from the thing that's not emotionally satisfying you. What are you going to do? Walk around like a zombie, dead inside? You know that. It's eventually going to catch up to you. Now let's see why you have the Knight of Wands here. Well, hello, lover. I love when I'm right. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's go back to you. Lovers, Gemini energy, along with, I believe this is strength. Yes, you're getting doubled up cards. And the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I get it. You want stability. You want structure. You want to love and be loved. Understood. But you also have to make a judgment call. And there is something here that is painful for you. And that's either resisting being with a lover, because that's what it looks like to me, or not fighting it. So this is where you're at. And I'm suspecting now this is why you have these Two of Pentacles and these Two of Swords. You're flip-flopping between this love ship, between something where it could be a lover. Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I engage? Not engage? Listen, you guys can engage, but you come from a place of understanding of what it is that you want and need. So when you start engaging with this person, yes, it's never too early. You can be like, look, I like you. I'm interested in you, but I need to know what your intentions are. I understand that we might not, eventually be the ultimate couple. We might not end up being together. I get that. But as long as I know that we have intentions that are aligning, I'm in it to win it. So If you want to be a lover and they only want to be a lover, your intentions are aligned. Or if you want to date somebody potentially to have a life partner, those are your intentions. And if you want those matching intentions, that person says like, yeah, that's what I want too. Then you found your person. Now, whether you resonate or you don't is a whole other story. That's why we date. But it's the intentions that matter. Why am I telling you all of this? It's because what you don't see coming is this casual thing that appears to you, and you overanalyze it. You overthink it. You're like, will I get stability out of this? Will I not get stability out of this? What if I don't? It doesn't work like that. You flow. You go. And then you start dating. And then you start seeing if you even like the person or if the person is into you. Then you start talking about those intentions we just discussed. But let me not get ahead of myself, because I want to continue with your advice, because we do have the Ten of Swords and this King of Pentacles here. So it looks like there's an ending to something where you did have stability and you're entertaining something that's not. Sure, it can be vice versa, but this is the common theme of this reading for this week. Let's continue. Advice, Ten of Swords, King of Pentacles, please. Yeah, Four of Wands and the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Two storylines. One was the one we just literally spoke about regarding intentions. If you're having a passionate new beginning, like I'm seeing here with the Ace of Wands, in your advice, I see the Knight of Cups. What does the Knight of Cups do? Let's talk about the Knights. Knights are messengers. They go and deliver things. They say, hey, let's go for a cup of coffee. Hey, let's go for a drink so we can talk. But because it's a cup, you're talking on an emotional level, right? And what are you discussing? You're discussing the Four of Wands. Structure, foundation, upgrading your relationship from being lovers to boyfriend, girlfriend, to moving in together, to buying a home, to getting engaged, whatever the upgrade is. Others of you, yes, this could be work related. Having a chat here with a boss potentially in regards to a promotion or an upgrade in your life. There was an ending and a betrayal with somebody, but you do have the opportunity of these Ace of Wands. And at the very beginning of this whole entire video, that's what we spoke about with this, the Star card. All the opportunities, all the things that we can see that we're not, because we get so plugged into the situation that we don't look at it at a macro level, we look at it on a micro scale. And we don't want to do that. We want to open up our vision, our aura, our mindset, and be more progressive and say to ourselves, well, I want X, Y, Z. But then you're saying to yourself, well, I need this to happen with this person, or I need something to happen with like that in this relationship. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a major macro level energy that you're striving to achieve. I want to achieve these goals in my job. I want to achieve these goals in my relationship. And in your mindset, if you just keep thinking that and you keep affirming that into your mind, that's actually what you're going to attract. That's actually what you're going to get. And all the micro details, you're not fretting and you're not worrying over. You're not even going to realize that one day you're just going to turn around. There it is, boom, in your face. So going back to your advice, it's talking about onward, upward. There was an ending. It's done. Stop pining over it. Stop thinking about it. Have a conversation here. Have a heart-to-heart chat. Discuss this upgrade that you want in your life. You have this opportunity. Aces are opportunities. What you make of them is what you will. And yes, a lot of you has something to do with your recent past, because the Six of Cups is right behind it. A lot of you, this is this fire sign we're talking about. A lot of you, you're canceling out one and entertaining a new. Let's continue. Why do they have these two twos here, please? Do we have another king? King of Swords. Ooh. And then we have the Page of Cups in reverse on your two twos. All right. So this lack of messaging or lack of hearing from somebody with this Page of Cups in reverse, or this just like text messaging thing that's going on, I think this is what might be potentially giving you doubts. Also, you're thinking about your other person that you've built a life with or a future with, or somebody that you had a foundation with. Here is what I'm going to say to you guys, and you make of it what you will. No tarot reader, especially when there's two twos, and those are minor arcanas. They're not major, they're minors. Minors is the day-to-day choices that you make. It's your free will. You have free will. You have to make those choices. The universe only supports you and backs you. As far as future depiction, it'll tell you what your actions most likely might be, but you also have to calculate the other person, what they're going to do, right? So this is why we use tarot for that, and for second, to use it as a tool. Again, why am I telling you all of this? Because you have two twos, and I know you can't make that choice. And it's getting harder for you to make that choice because of the lack of messaging, the lack of information, the lack of you knowing what to do, right? But here's the thing. When I'm looking at the King of Swords, and then I'm looking at the Emperor right behind the King of Swords, and then the Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold, heartache and betrayal, but knowing that you need to make a judgment call, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Moreover, if this, because you know the Kings are incoming energy, you are the Emperors. You know this. The Emperor is the Aries card in the Tarot. But let's talk about how structured things are. You have pages. You have knights. You have kings and queens. But then you have emperor and empresses, where everybody reports the emperor, empress. You're at that level. You're at that growth rate. And you're dealing with a king. Sure, that king can come up to an emperor. But you're feeling the disparity. You're feeling the difference. And that is the thing that's nagging you. That is the thing that's bothering you. You know you're a boss. You know you're a leader. You know you can lead. Whether it's a relationship or a job, you're feeling that gap. And that is your inner calling that's gnawing at you to get that growth that you want. And because you are at that pitch, that elevation in life, you're ready to rock and roll. You're ready to go. You're just concerned because of the stability you grew and the growth that you had. But this is it. No risk, no reward. But this is why an emperor is an emperor. They take those risks. They take those challenges. All right, guys. These are the crazy energies you got to deal with the second week of September. They're just weekly readings. I'm sure it's going to shift and change. But let's go ahead and see what's going on with your love life. So we know what we're reading in the extended. And then we'll get one oracle message. Aries, please. One more shuffle. Oh, maybe not. Yep, very soon. Guys, not even surprised. Very soon is saying that you have to make a decision on a person. I mean, I'm not shocked because you have the two twos at the outcome of your week. Hold on a second, I just want to read this. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. So the energies is that the universe sees that you're trying to decide. Should you stay or should you go with a relationship? Are you going to move forward or you're not? Right? So the universe is saying, listen, if you don't want this little fishy, you got to throw him back in the sea so we can give him to somebody else so we can give you the right sea. Maybe, you don't want sea bass. Maybe you want a red snapper. Who knows? Like, how are we going to give you a red snapper if you're still holding on to, like, the sea beam or whatever? So that's what's going on. But anyway, in the extended, we're going to clarify that and see what else it wants to tell you, what other messages your oracles want to advise you and say to you. And it could be because of the energies that are waiting behind door number 2, trying to come towards you, but you can't because you're on stuck energy or you're holding on to something old. All right, let's get one last message from the oracles and we'll wrap this up. Aries, please. Aries, please. Ooh, beauty. I love this one. You guys got beauty. Every rose has its thorn, and two symbols of beauty reminds you that beauty is never perfect. Just as the beautiful experiences, you will not have perfect forever. When you revel in the beauty that is true, you can look at yourself in the mirror and realize that you already are perfect as you are. When you choose this symbol, it is a sign that beauty is all around you. Keep a positive attitude, expect wonderful things, and they will come to you. And we spoke about this, right? The macro, micro thing. See yourself as beautiful and know that beauty is skin deep. It includes qualities that lie well beneath the surface. Look for the truer beauty in others as well, as we always look beyond appearances. All right, guys, that's what I have for you this week. Members, I'll see you over at Extended, and everybody else who is partaking in Extended, I'll see you there. And everyone else, I'll see you next week at the normal studio.